G'day everyone, today I am back with my PX1 Ford Ranger and I'm going to be testing out a new budget performance intercooler. So this is a new intercooler from a company called Jagro Performance, and it is a performance intercooler for the 3.2 and the 2.2 Ranger. Now this is probably one of the thickest intercoolers you can buy for this particular model. So if we have a look at the dimensions of it, we can see that the width of it is around 680 millimeters. The height of it is 260 millimeters and the thickness is 105 millimeters. So the only other intercooler that comes close to the size of this intercooler that suits the 2.2 or the 3.2 Ranger is the Wagner Tuning Performance Intercooler. And the only difference between the Wagner one, it is slightly thicker at a thickness of 120 millimeters, so you get an extra 15 mil in thickness. However, in saying that, the Wagner intercooler costs approximately $2,000, where this one here, you can get it delivered for around 330 Australian dollars. So this one was sourced through Alibaba, which is kind of like eBay, but it sources goods from all over China. Let's have a look at the quality and see exactly what I paid for. All right, so at a first glance, we'll have a look at the welds, and they seem to be pretty good. Can't really complain. There is a little bit of, I'm not too sure what that is, but it looks like a bit of chipping or something like that. Bar and plate core, which looks pretty good. This side seems to all be pretty good as well. Can't see any issues there. Coming from the back, yeah, welds seem pretty good. No real complaints. Up the top it looks pretty good. Once again, we've got a bit of, I'm not too sure what that is, but I guess it's just made like that from the factory. And we've got a production date there, 4th of the 12th, 2024. But yeah, at a first glance, doesn't look too bad. But yeah, let's fit this one up and see how it performs. So I'm going to be doing a series of before and after tests with this intercooler and measuring the intake air temps at this sensor, which is located here. So I'm going to be doing an uphill run with the factory intercooler, then I'll fit this aftermarket intercooler and go back and do the same section of road on the uphill run and see exactly how we did with the intake air temps and how much of a drop we got with this new intercooler. So sitting on about 31 degrees, 30. $32. $35. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 40. Looked like we hit a peak of 41 degrees on the intake air temps. Just going over all that footage that I collected, I could see a peak intake air temp 41 degrees with the factory intercooler. So now it's time to fit up this intercooler, do that exact same run again and see what the difference is. Just a quick comparison of the two intercoolers. It's pretty much like night and day. I mean, this one, the thickness is, what, let's say 35 millimeters, and this one being 105. So we are looking at triple the thickness of the standard intercooler. Just a couple of things to take note that you have to transfer from the old intercooler to the new one is the charge air temp sensor, which is this one here. You will need a 10mm bolt, which I had a spare. They never come with any of the intercoolers. You always got to supply this yourself. And also these little, what do you call them, spacers. There's 4 of them, and they essentially just come out of the center of the rubbers of the factory intercooler, and they need to be transferred onto the new intercooler. Cooler is now fully bolted in. Everything lines up perfectly without any issues whatsoever. Though one thing that I won't be reusing is the factory air ducts, which sit about here. They definitely won't be going back on. It's probably a good idea to replace this sensor if you're fitting a new intercooler rather than use the old one, which has got 300,000 kilometers on it. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I had this one laying around from back in 2020. The full installation is now completed. I had no issues whatsoever with fitment. I have the new sensor in. All the intercooler piping is now tightened up and on. And I'm basically ready to refit the bumper and the grille and go out for a test drive and see what sort of a difference this intercooler makes. Have got the bumper on and fitment is really good. No cutting or anything like that. Everything bolted up as it should. Pretty much all back together now. And as you can see through there, you can just see the intercooler. And coming in from the top, there really isn't much room left to go any thicker than that. Maybe another 5-10 mil, but yeah, that's tight. So we are back at the same spot we were previously. We've got the new intercooler in. Let's see how much of a difference this new intercooler makes. One thing to keep in mind is it's currently nearly 2 o'clock in the afternoon. When we filmed the original pass up the mountain, it was 9:30, I believe. So the ambient temperature is a little bit warmer right now, but let's go for a drive and see what sort of figure we get with this new intercooler. $28 degrees. Still sitting on 28. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. And that was it. So here are my final thoughts on the intercooler upgrade. As you can see by that footage, we did see a peak intake air temp drop of about 3 degrees, I think it was. Not a big gain, but it is something. We also saw that the big intercooler stayed cooler for much longer. However, I do think that one of the big factors upgrading to a bigger intercooler, as you can see here, there isn't really much flow for the intercooler to get any air from the front of the car. Most of it is blocked by this bumper and also as well as the grille. And when you do upgrade to the big intercooler, you can see there's not really much room for airflow in there as well. Whereas the smaller intercooler does have the ducting on the sides, However, you cannot use that when you upgrade to the bigger intercooler. But another plus was I did see an improvement in the responsiveness running the bigger intercooler. One of the things I did off camera was replace this pipe with a silicone pipe. Upon fitting, I found that the steel intercooler pipe that I previously had on there didn't fit too well with the 2-inch body lift and this intercooler. So once I upgraded to the silicone pipe, it was a much better fitment, and that is how I'm going to leave it. All that being said, I do feel this is still a pretty good upgrade for the Ranger, considering it's only $256 on Alibaba and about 66 bucks delivery. So definitely much better than the factory intercooler. So thanks for tuning in. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.